Hi, this is Jason with Liquid Instruments. Today I'm going to show you how to install the Moku Python API on Windows. Although some of the information presented here will be specific to Windows devices, the procedure is generally the same for Macs as well. Now the first thing to do is make sure that you have a Python installation of at least version 3.5 or higher on your computer. I like to use Anaconda to handle these installations, as it keeps everything organized for me. It's also a good idea to have the Moku software installed on your computer just in case you need to check the IP address, firmware version, or confirm that your Moku is connected to the network. Finally, if you want to interact with your Moku via the command line, you should install the Moku Cli utility, which is available from our website on the Utilities page. Just scroll down, download and run the installer, and it takes care of itself from there. Now this one is not strictly necessary, but it's handy. So with those prerequisites, we're going to open up a terminal and navigate to the root folder where the Python install is. If you're using Anaconda, this can be launched from the main navigation screen under this cmd.exe prompt. Just as a quick test that we're in the right place, we're going to type python -- version into the console. And we see that the Python install is found, as we'd expect. So the next thing we're going to do is install the Moku package using pip. If you've worked with Python before, then this procedure will be quite familiar to you. So we're going to type pip install Moku, and we're going to wait for it to complete. Now it's already been installed on my device, but once the installation completes, you'll see the command line again, and we can check that the installation was successful by typing python -c quote import Moku quote. And if this command doesn't return an error, then your installation was successful. If it throws an error, then you need to check out our troubleshooting guide. So now we need to install the actual data files that are used by the Moku instrument. You need to make sure that the firmware version that you download matches the firmware on your device. And you can check this with the Moku app if you don't already know what your firmware version is. The firmware version is available if you open the Moku app. The firmware version is viewable in the bottom right. You can see your build number and the firmware. As of time of recording, the most recent firmware version is 5.9.1, but in the future this version should be higher. So let's go back to our terminal, and we're going to type Moku download --fw_ver equals 591. We're going to hit enter. Now, the data files are already installed on my machine. They will download automatically. They're quite large. They can take some time, so give it a few minutes for it to complete. But then when the installation is complete, you should see the command line pop up again. So now the data files are downloaded and we're ready for the next step. If your Moku is on and connected to the network, and you also installed the Moku Cli utility earlier, you can see the IP information of your Moku by typing Moku list. And with that, the console will show the information, and you're ready for part 2 of this video, where we will run a Hello World type program to connect to our Moku. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. If you have any trouble with the installation, or you're looking to take the next step, there's a link in the description to our API documentation. Please follow Liquid Instruments on YouTube, LinkedIn, or X. Thank you.